Results.
Relation to calendar 1213, those recorded in the negative are Senators Adabo, Breslin, Comrie, Croce, Delan, Espaillat, Gianaris, Hamilton, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kaminsky, Kennedy, Kruger, Latimer, Montgomery, Panapinto, Peralta, Perkins, Persaud, Ranzenhofer, Rivera, Sanders, Serrano, Squadron, Stavisky, and Stewart Cousins. Ayes 35, nays 26.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1289 by Senator Martin, Senate Print 1257, enact amend the real property tax law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1310 by Member of the Assembly Otis, Assembly Print 10,022, enact amend Chapter 618 of the laws of 1998.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1317.
Calendar 1317 will be laid aside temporarily.
Calendar number 1321 by Senator Ravella, Senate Print 6535, an act authorizing.
Last section.
Section 3, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60, nays 1. Senator DeFrancisco recorded in the negative.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1331 by Member of the Assembly Brennan, Assembly Print 10365B, an act amend the not-for-profit corporation law.
Last section.
Section 21, this act should take effect on the 180th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1345 by Senator O'Mara, Senate Print 7789, an act amend the environmental conservation law.
Last section.
Section 4, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1356 by Member of the Assembly Lupardo, Assembly Print 9614A, an act amend the executive law.
Last section.
Section 3, this act should take effect on the 90th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60, nays 1. Senator Bonasek recorded in the negative.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1361 by Member of Assembly Palmisano, Assembly Print 10214D, an act amend the real property tax law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect on the 1st of January.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 60, nays 1. Senator Hamilton recorded in the negative.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1387 by Senator Croce, Senate Print 3140A, an act amend the vehicle and traffic law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect on the 1st of November.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1390 by Senator Ort, Senate Print 3624B, an act amend the public authorities law.
Last section.
Section 3, this act should take effect on the 1st of January.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Results.
Relation to calendar 1390, those recorded in the negative are Senators Comrie, Delan, Espaillat, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kruger, Panapinto, Perkins, Rivera, Serrano, and Squadron. Also Senator Hamilton. Ayes 49, nays 12.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1392 by Senator Venditto, Senate Print 3823B, an act authorized.
There's a home rule message at the desk. The secretary will read the last section.
Section 6, the statute should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1398 by Senator Nozzolio, Senate Print 6660, Enact amend the penal law.
Last section.
Section 5, the statute take effect on the 180th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Kruger to explain her vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. Like a previous bill we saw on this floor, I have to argue against this bill and urge my colleagues to vote no. Yet again, the organizations that provide domestic violence assistance in this state and in fact throughout the nation have taken the position that these registries have dangerous unintended consequences that thwart their ability to achieve the desired and intended outcome of increasing victim safety and offender accountability. There is so much more we can and should be doing to prevent domestic violence. And I know that Senator Zolio, the sponsor, feels passionately about this issue. And perhaps in the future, as a private citizen, we can work together to come to, as he is a private citizen, excuse me, I might be too, who knows. We could work together on this issue. Thank you. I am voting no, Mr. President.
Senator Kruger to be recorded in the negative. Announce the results.
In relation to calendar 1398, those recorded in the negative are Senators DeFrancisco, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kruger, Montgomery, Panapinto, Peralta, Perkins, Rivera, and Squadron. Also Senator Hamilton. Ayes 50, nays 11.
Bill is passed.
Calendar number 1413 by Senator Laval, Senate Print 17B, enact amend the education law.
Last section.
Section 2, the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Results.
In relation to calendar 1413, those recorded in the negative are Senators Breslin, Comrie, Delan, Espaillat, Gianaris, Hamilton, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kaminsky, Kruger, Latimer, Montgomery, Panapinto, Peralta, Perkins, Persaud, Rivera, Sanders, Serrano, Squadron, Stavisky, and Stewart Cousins. Ayes 39, nays 22.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1521 by Senator Laval, Senate Print 228, enact amend the education law.
Last section.
Section 2, the statute take effect on the 120th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1529 by Senator Bonasek, Senate Print 1633, enact amend the county law.
Last section.
Section 3, the statute take effect. First of January.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ms. Perkins. Ayes 60, nays 1. Senator Perkins recorded in the
The
negative.
bill is passed.
Calendar number 1592 by Senator Farley, Senate Print 7973A, enactment of the Public Authorities Law.
There is a home rule message at the desk. The secretary will read the last section.
Section 5, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1651 by the Senate Committee on Rules, Senate Print 7592.
Read the
Enact
last
authorized.
Read the last section.
Section 2, this act shall take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Squadron to explain his vote.
Senator Rules gets another bill here on the last day of session. Another lack of ability for the public or colleagues, the media, to know who's sponsoring this bill and why. This bill in particular has a number of specific questions related to it. I'm going to be voting no. I would apologize to Senator Rules, but of course, Senator Rules is not present today. I'm a no, Mr. President.
Senator Squadron to be recorded in a negative. Hands up again, please. Results.
In relation to calendar 1651, those recorded in the negative are Senators Avella, Bonasek, Breslin, Carlucci, Comrie, Delan, Espaillat, Gianaris, Hamilton, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kennedy, Klein, Kruger, Latimer, Montgomery, O'Mara, Panapinto, Peralta, Perkins, Persaud, Ranzenhofer, Rivera, Sanders, Savino, Serrano, Squadron, Stavisky, and Stewart Cousins. Ayes 32, nays 29.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1658 by Senator Ort, Senate Print 7751, concurrent resolution of the Senate and Assembly.
Call the roll on the resolution. Lay it aside.
Calendar number 1750 by Senator Avella, Senate Print 8095, enactment of the real property tax law.
Last section.
Section 2, this act should take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 61.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1751 by Senator Klein, Senate Print 8102, enactment of general business law.
Last section.
Section 11, the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Akshar to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this bill, I'm sorry? I think the bill is well intended. However, I think it's much too broad. Upstate employers, Chamber of Commerce's, they rely on cross-border economy, especially upstate in the area that I represent. And employers upstate are certainly using placement agencies to find talented and good employees. And I think that this bill is addressing a problem that's probably very real in New York City. I'm sure there's bad actors there. And I think that this bill, again, is just too broad. It's overreaching. It's going to have an adverse effect on the upstate economy. It's for that reason that I vote no.
Senator Akshar to be recorded at a negative. Announce the results.
Relation to calendar 1751, those recorded in the negative are Senators Akshar, Amador, Croce, DeFrancisco, Funky, Gallivan, Griffo, Little, O'Mara, Ort, Ranzenhofer, Sereno, and Young. Also Senator Marchone. Also Senator Seward. And also Senator Farley. Also Senator Nozzolio. Also Senator Laval.
The guys that are not running, they should be the ones that are.
Ayes 44, nays 17.
Bills passed.
Calendar number 1764 by Senator Felder, Senate Print 4430D, enactment of the public health law.
Last section.
Section 2, the statute take effect on the 30th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Kruger to explain her vote.
Thank you. I rise to thank Senator Felder for this bill. I think it's an important protection for people's rights. Even if they have passed and there is no one to claim their body, you should be able to ensure that your body's not violated after death if there's no one there to speak for you. Thank you, Senator Felder.
Senator Kruger, is that an affirmative? Yes. Senator Kruger to be recorded in the affirmative.
Ayes 61, nays 1. Senator Ranzenhofer recorded in the negative.
And the bill is passed.
Calendar number 1780 by Senator O'Mara, Senate Print 7103C, enactment of the public health law.
Read the last section.
Section 5, the statute take effect on the 60th day.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 62.
The bill is passed.
Calendar number 1796 by Senator Croce, Senate Print 7927, enactment Chapter 719 of the laws of 1982.
Last section.
Section 3, the statute take effect immediately. Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 62. Calendar number 1806 by Senator Croce, Senate Print 8103, an act authorizing.
There's a home rule message to the desk secretary. Will read the last section.
Section 7, the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 62.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1823 by Senator Griffo, Senate Print 7325B, an act to establish.
Last section.
Section 4, the statute take effect immediately.
Call the roll.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young. Ayes 62.
Bill's passed.
Calendar number 1843 by Senator Felder, Senate Print 8018, enactment of the private.
Lay it aside for the day.
Calendar number 1856 by Senator Savino, Senate Print 8097, an act amending the alcoholic beverage control law.
Last section.
Section 5, this act should take effect immediately.
Can I have some order in the House, please? Senator Savino to explain her vote. Call the roll first, then Senator Savino will explain her vote.
Adabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young.
Senator Savino.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill would allow New York theaters, movie theaters, for the first time to be able to serve beer, wine, and liquor in New York State. This is another example of some of the antiquated blue laws that have been in place since Prohibition. Many other states already permit the service of beer, wine, and liquor in movie theaters. New York permits limited.
Can I have some order in the House, please, so that we can hear Senator Savino explain her vote?
Thank you. New York permits limited alcohol sales, but only in conjunction with full food service in movie theaters, which includes tables and wait staff. This bill would bring New York in line with several other states and allow the limited sale of alcohol at movie theaters. Our movie theater industry in New York has seen significant challenges and changes in recent years. They have to fight against piracy and compete with new streaming services. Also, the availability of large-screen, high-definition home entertainment systems make going to the movie theaters less compelling. Movie theaters are therefore looking for ways to make going to the movies more of an appealing and special experience. Providing the service of alcohol at the movies is one of those ways. This bill could also provide significant economic benefits in the form of tax dollars and investment in New York State. It's estimated that roughly $2 million in taxes and fees could be collected for the state with this. Also, renovations, remodels, and construction will result as many theaters will build out their facilities to accommodate alcohol service. This bill has many safeguards and limitations for those who are concerned. Movie theaters would, of course, have to apply to the state for a liquor license. Purchasers would be required to provide written proof of age. Only one alcoholic beverage could be bought per transaction. Alcohol sales would be limited to 1 hour prior to the first movie until the end of the final movie. Only theaters open at least 5 days a week on a regular seasonal basis of no less than 6 contiguous weeks with permanent seating could apply, and a municipality has to be notified of any application within its borders and may express an opinion to the state whether good cause exists to deny the application. And as of course with liquor licenses, an application may always be denied. So I urge all of my colleagues to eradicate another vestige of the blue laws and bring New York into the modern age and join the other states around us and allow us to have a drink when we go to the movies. I vote in the affirmative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Serino to be recorded in the affirmative, and Senator Savino to be recorded in the affirmative. I thought maybe we could convert the chamber to a movie theater. Senator Savino's to be recorded in the affirmative. Senator Kaminsky to explain his vote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to express my trouble with this bill. I believe that we are constantly shrinking the safe spaces we have for our young people to be able to make decisions without having substances and alcohol always put in their face. You know, we have an addiction, we have a substance abuse problem in this country, and I believe the decisions that the messages that we send out as a society matter. The decisions that we tell our young people that they have to make all the time are troubling. You can't have a good time without alcohol. You can't sit through a movie without alcohol. Every place you go, someone has to have alcohol. These things matter. Advertising matters. Having alcohol around matters. And we constantly are shrinking the spaces where our young people are able to have a good time without having this thrust in front of their face. Now the Starbucks in my community is going to be selling alcohol. The places where you can even study with friends and there's no alcohol seems to be diminishing. The statistics bear this out. If a child begins drinking by age 15, they're 40% more likely to develop a problem with alcohol and or other drugs than someone who waits till later in life. And research from Johns Hopkins School of Public Health tells us that the more places to purchase alcohol in a community, the more underage drinking there is, and there's a direct connection between the amount of advertising you see and the amount of drinking you do. And of course, we know that addiction is a brain disease that can begin in adolescence. And 5,000 children under 21 died each year of alcohol-related illnesses. We need to be thinking of ways to be protecting our children. Sitting in a movie theater, even if you're an adult and there's a kid down the road, watching you drink alcohol sends a bad message. And of course, if we think our kids won't be able to get their hands on this alcohol, you forget what high school was like. So I think, look, I've seen a lot of movies lately where I wish I could drink, but I absolutely think that this is the wrong message that we need to send. We need to be able to know that we could send our children into a movie theater and know they're not going to be subject to the decisions and peer pressure and poor messages that we have everywhere else in our society. So while I understand the intention of this bill, I'm going to vote against it, and Mr. President, I vote in the negative.
Senator Kaminsky, to be recorded in the negative, announce the results.
In relation to calendar 1856, those recorded in the negative.
Senator Hannan. We'll be announcing the results. Okay, results.
In relation to calendar 1856, those recorded in the negative are Senators Akshar, Avella, Griffo, Hannan, Hassel-Thompson, Hoylman, Kaminsky, Kruger, Lanza, Laval, Marcelino, Marchone, Martins, Murphy, Ort, Perkins, Robach, Sanders, Stewart-Cousins, and Venditto. Also Senator Serrano. Also Senator, I did say Kruger. Ayes 41, nays 21.
Bills passed. DeFrancisco, that completes today's non-controversial reading of the active list.
Can we go to motions and resolutions,
We'll
please?
return to motions and resolution.
I wish to call up Senator Gallivan's Bill 532, having passed both houses and not delivered to the governor.
Secretary will read.
Calendar number 951 by Senator Gallivan, Senate Print 532, enactment of civil service law.
I now move to reconsider the vote by which the bill was passed and ask that the bill be restored to the order of third reading.
Secretary will call the roll on reconsideration.
Dabo, Flanagan, Klein, Stewart, Cousins, Young, ayes 62.
The bill is restored to third reading. Senator DeFrancisco.
I now offer the following amendments.
And the amendments are received.
I would like to return go to the controversial reading and go on to bill calendar number 1658 by Senator Ort. However, with consent of council of each of the conferences, we're going to call also an immediate meeting of the Higher Education Committee in Rule 332.
There will be an immediate meeting of the Senate Higher Education Committee in room 332.
And can we now go to the controversial reading and specifically calendar 1658?
Calendar 1658, the Secretary will ring the bell, and Senator Kruger is recognized. Call the bill up first.
Calendar number 1658 by Senator Ort, Senate Print 7751, concurrent resolution of the Senate and Assembly.
Okay, the bill's before the House. Senator Kruger has some questions. Again, I'm going to need some order in the House because people are moving to meetings. The Higher Education Committee is meeting in 332. The other members in the chamber, please, if we can take your conversations outside, and I would ask staff to do likewise. Senator Ort, are you prepared? And yields. Senator Ort yields. Senator Kruger, you may continue.
Thank you. Is Senator Ort aware that if this constitutional amendment were to pass, it would actually restrict our powers vested in the Senate and the Assembly in Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution, giving us the power and authority to determine these laws in New York State?
For you, Mr. President, the whole point of this legislation, by putting language in our Constitution, not only would we join 22 other states that have language that guarantees the right to either fish and or hunt and trap, but it would be much more difficult to restrict a lot of these areas where 1.7 million New Yorkers enjoy. So that's kind of the idea, is to make it more difficult to encroach and restrict the rights of 1.7 million New Yorkers and countless of other potential other New Yorkers who engage in these pastimes and have for the entire duration of the existence of our great state.
Through you, Mr. President, the sponsor would continue to yield.
I do.
Sponsor yields.
Is the sponsor aware that this constitutional amendment, if it would pass, would violate Article 14, Section 3 of our Constitution regarding legislative power of wildlife conservation?
I wasn't aware of that, and nor do I necessarily subscribe to that. I don't know if we have any constitutional lawyers here, but I'll take this, my learned colleague from Manhattan's word for it, apparently.
Mr. President, the sponsor would continue to yield.
I do.
Sponsor yields.
Thank you. Is the sponsor aware that this constitutional amendment, if adopted, would also constitute a restriction on the general powers vested in local governments, Article 9, Sections 1 and 2 of the Constitution?
I am.
Through you, Mr. President, the sponsor will continue to yield.
I do.
Sponsor yields.
Thank you. So, on the last question, that if it passed, it would constitute a restriction on the general powers vested in local governments. So I live in the city of New York. We have many public parks. We don't currently have any hunting, although Staten Island's really been pushing for deer hunting, and I understand their dilemma. But most of New York City has no hunting, but parks. We have fairly restrictive gun laws that don't allow you to travel the city streets with your guns, except in very limited circumstances. If this constitutional amendment were to become law, would we be overriding the city of New York and other localities around the state's right to say no hunting in our public parks, no carrying of guns in our neighborhoods under local gun laws?
For you, Mr. President, I do not believe that's the case. First of all, to clarify a couple points. One is by amending the Constitution, you can't be violating the Constitution by almost definition. It is therefore an amendment to the existing Constitution. Two, all this does is again protect the right of New Yorkers in constitutional language to engage in the activities of hunting, fishing, and trapping. So it does nothing, from my perspective, to make it, whether you're in Central Park or whether you're anywhere else in the city. However, it would protect New Yorkers' rights to do that in areas where they are currently allowed to do that.
Through you, Mr. President, on the bill.
Senator Kruger on the bill.
Well, I actually would like to expand the debate. I'm also supposed to be interviewing people in the Higher Ed Committee, so I'm going to just close with the Attorney General of New York State has issued a determination on this proposed constitutional amendment where he points out that this constitutional amendment would in fact constitute a restriction on the general legislative powers vested in the Senate and Assembly, as well as specific legislative powers regarding wildlife conservation, as well as constituting a restriction on the general powers vested in local governments. I don't think we want to do those things in our Constitution. We have reasons for those sections of our Constitution. They protect many of the rights we live in under today. And so I have to respectfully disagree with the sponsor that undoing our existing amendments to the Constitution, taking away local powers and rights, legislative powers and rights, and wildlife conservation protections would be a mistake for the state of New York. So I'm urging a no vote by everyone on this constitutional amendment. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, the sponsor.
Thank you, Senator Kruger. Senator Ort, do you want to speak on the bill?
Yes, I just want to explain.
Senator Ort on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, first, I would just like to say, there are 22 other states across our country, again, that have language in their constitutions that protect hunting and or fishing and or trapping. This would go a long way to solidifying the rights of New Yorkers, 1.7 million, to engage in these activities. Brings in about $2.5 billion in economic impact. But I think it's very curious always when we hear about protecting the rights of local governments, because certainly this body has never engaged in any sort of legislation that would take those rights away. I think we're very selective at times. This does nothing, in my view, to take those rights away, what it really does is protect the rights of all New Yorkers to engage in these activities in areas where they are currently allowed. And I think it's also important that this language also goes to conserving and protecting wildlife, whether it be fish, birds, or other forms of wildlife. So I think it's a good balance, and I think it would be a huge symbol to most of New York that we regard these rights to engage in these activities as sacrosanct, and it'd be much more difficult to encroach and infringe upon them. So, Mr. President, I vote aye, and I encourage my colleagues who care about these issues to vote aye as well.
Okay, seeing and hearing no other senator that wishes to be heard, debate will be closed and the secretary will ring the bell.